honored to be here. As she just mentioned, I was an undergrad here, and thank you for Lisa for having me speak. I enjoy this very much so. So without further ado, let's get into the presentation. This is the agenda. I learned from Dr. Rosen in my MBA program, always have an agenda. So I made my agenda this morning. I was like, okay, I forgot one thing. So we're going to do a brief company background, a little bit about why I'm here, what I do. We're going to take you through the next steps of your career path. We're going to talk about interviewing, you as the person interviewing, and actually flipping it and interviewing your employer. All right, and then understanding the why. I'm going to really stress on this. So referring to projects or tasks that you're doing in the company, and then how to succeed at work. And then we'll go into professional development, and we'll end with the major takeaways. I have 3 major takeaways. So I really want this to be interactive. I have some treats to provide you with. So you can ask questions, be involved. I really want to make this all about you. So here's my disclaimer. I don't claim to be a superior employer. And that's not what I claim to be. Some of my employees are actually here. They might say otherwise. But think of this like building your resume. So people are going to give you advice. Everything you take in, most of it is good. It's right. You have professors here that are willing to help you. They're going to tell you advice that is exactly right. But a lot of it, when it boils down to it, it is your resume. It's up to you to make the final decision on what's going to go out. It's you. So you decide what you want to include in your resume. Same thing with this presentation. I'm going to give you a lot of advice. But at the end of the day, you decide what you want to learn and what you're going to do with that today. So you want to understand who I am and how we can maybe be interactive with questions and my experience background. My first and foremost thing that I think I am, which is a mentor. I've had over 50 students over the last 7 years that I've coached and trained and talked through different tasks and how they can help them go to the next step. I obviously do sales. I get the sponsorships to come in. I started as the marketing director, as Caitlin mentioned, but right now my position is to do national sales across all of our conferences. I'm a leader, a student, obviously in the MBA program. I came back to school. We'll talk about that in the professional development program. I do coaching, soccer on the side at WCA, always finding different ways to be interactive with the community, so coaching basketball, soccer. And I consider myself, I work with a serial entrepreneur, and I consider that my mindset, right? If you were in the session of Doug, he talked about you don't actually have to start a business to think like an entrepreneur. I think like an entrepreneur, and that's why I put that down as a characteristic of myself. All right, so number 1, this session, why I'm here, is all about you. So I want you to be able to maybe throw out some questions. What are you trying to get out of this? And hopefully by the end of this presentation, I can answer those questions. And I'm very passionate about this. Again, I can't do my job without my team. I'm very thankful for a lot of my team members here, Caitlin Hopper in the back, Caroline, some of my current students here. It's all about them, right? So if I'm giving back to them, we're all going to succeed as a team. I can't do half the stuff in my job without my team members at all. So does anybody have any questions or topics that you'd like me to cover throughout this presentation? Any hands? And I got a treat. Anybody looking hungry? I got a Snickers. Anything you want to do? All right, any questions? Anything you want to learn? There we go.
What skills, what do you think a marketing student needs to have when they graduate from here?
Okay, so marketing skills. What skills do they need to have after they graduate or while they're learning?
What do they need to learn here before they go to you?
Me. All right, any other questions before I get rolling? So we're going to focus on the skills and hopefully have that answered by the time we're done. Let's go on here. So brief overview of our company. We do conference coordinating in the financial industry, specifically in the 401k space. So that means putting on conferences all around the country, half-day events starting at 8:30, ending at 1. So it's meant to be quick and efficient for a financial advisor to come and learn about how to grow their 401k practice. So it's event coordinating in the financial industry, the corporate industry. So that, in a nutshell, we do events all around the country, any major city, population size, we will go there. Obviously, you see Wilmington's not on the category because it's a smaller city. So think Chicago, LA, any of the major cities across the country, we will go there and put on an event. Our national conference, we started in 2015. So we've been doing regional events since 2010, probably over 800 meetings. And then we started our national conference in 2015. Last year, we had 403 attendees, pretty good size. We're expecting to grow about another 50% in attendance. So planning events, right? Very cut and paste. Here's a brief overview of that. You pick dates. You have the location set. You do get the sponsors, which is my job. I get the sponsors to pay for it. And then you get the advisors to come. So the simplest way to understand that is, I was talking to Caitlin over here. She works for ACE, the event coordinating company for the campus. She gets bands to come and promotes that. So very similar to that, the music industry. All right, so the mindset, again, I consider myself an entrepreneur. So the mindset of an entrepreneur, it's hard to turn off. I'm very passionate about what I do. I work late hours. It's not I don't consider it work. You know, you find something you're passionate in. Caitlin Hopper did a presentation on us last year, never working a day in your life. I feel that way. I've worked every day since I graduated college with the company I own with now. That's rare, I know, but I've been there for 7 years and I don't feel like I've ever worked a day in my life. It's about passion, again, but at the end of the day, you wear a lot of hats. We're a small business. So you wear the hat of an IT person. You have to figure out how to code. You have to be a marketer. You have to be able to sell. As Doug mentioned, selling is a lot of different attributes of your life. So you're always constantly selling. So learn how to sell is a very valuable skill. By the end of the day, being your own boss is very hard. So I don't want to be misleading to think that starting a company is easy by any means. It's very difficult to do. But if you find something you're passionate in, you'll succeed at that. So who here wants to be an entrepreneur? Any entrepreneurs in the class? Want to start your own business? Fantastic. Thank you for raising your hand. There's a sinker. All right. Now you just interact with me. I'll reward you. All right, so here we go. So did you know the entrepreneurs, 59% of them were the first in their family to launch a business? So 59% of that. Every single month in the U.S., 530 companies are started. And then 63% of those that were successful, they started that company because they did not like, or it wasn't appealing to them in their environment to start a traditional corporation job. And you know, just for being able to start your own business, I know Jack just started working with us. He has a bunch of ideas, and there are going to be winners in this class, I can tell you now, because look underneath your seat, there's a lottery ticket for 5 of you. So go ahead and look underneath your seats now. So that's all that to say.
Seat or desk?
Your chair, sorry. All that to say, there will be winners, and congratulations to the ones that won. Raise your hand if you won. Anybody get one? There you go. There you go. 5. Yep, there's 5. Okay, perfect. So I love my job. Can anybody tell? Again, I've been doing it for so long, it's all I know. So there's a niche that I found early on. I'm very passionate about growing it. And this is kind of examples. You know, we have pizza parties. Our company culture is so dynamic and it's fun to be around. This is Caitlin Heck, by the way, right there. Caroline in the back, Caitlin Hopper in the back, you know, stuffing the face with pizza, and me, of course. So very fun. I love what I do. Very passionate about doing that. So this is the part where we're going to switch into the career steps, right? So taking the next step to find your career. So you must figure out yourself, right? Where to go and how to get there. So here's my steps. I started in high school. I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina. Went to UNCW, obviously undergrad in finance. I was a salesman at New Balance tennis shoe store. Great business. I made commission. I just sold slinging shoes. I was an unpaid intern for a long time. I took a risk. I just wanted to learn. I wanted to know what I liked and what I didn't like. All right, and then I studied abroad. I went with Dr. Rosen to the France, or Marseille trip, undergrad degree. I spent summer there, experiencing a lot of different stuff. So I highly recommend doing that if you could. And then I became the marketing manager right out of college. So underpaid internship, and I said, "You're offering me money to do something that I'm doing for free?" Absolutely. So I joined, and then I soon became the national sales director. So I do sales all across the country. I'm on the phone all the time. And now I'm back in school, continuing that with that business with Recon, and I'm currently an MBA student. But along that way, right, it's focusing on the next step. It's not 20 years down the road, I want to be this, I want to be that. The next step is finding out what is following today, right? So doing something and building your skills today can help you find that next step, find out what you like, and do that. Find that passion, all right? So in any business, nobody's a natural. So you're always going to be learning and figuring out what that skill is and developing it. So harnessing that skill and being able to go that direction is the whole key to this presentation. So again, what do you plan to do after graduation? Anybody have any jobs lined up? What are you going to do?
I'm going to manage at Amazon.
You're going to manage at Amazon. Fantastic. Where are you going to be based out of?
I will find out until 30 days before I have to be there. So
Amazon.
sometime before September.
Congratulations. That is awesome. Anybody else have jobs? What do we got?
I'm gonna be an audit associate in a public accounting firm in Charlotte.
Very nice. Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
There you go. 3 Musketeers. I got to do this talking. All right. So they got jobs. They figured out what they like. They were able to understand where they wanted to go. So this is a big thing here. So if you haven't taken a Myers-Briggs or a DISC test, do that. Understand who you are and be able to go to an employer and say, this is my skill set. This is what I'm able to provide to you and give back to you. All right? So understanding who you are. Pick a career that plays into your strengths, right? So your weaknesses and your strengths. Finding out what you don't like to do is very good too, right? So if you don't want to go into commercial real estate, I had a mentor, I'll get to that later, but I had a mentor walk me through what it's like to be a commercial real estate agent. I learned that that's not what I want to do. So very early on, I was able to process and figure out where I wanted to be and where I wanted to go in the direction of that. Prime example, as you can see, Caitlin Heck, as I mentioned earlier, she's been with me since 2015 in January. Actually, look, when you sign the non-compete agreement, she's actually going for a position in Raleigh at 13.1. So very proud of that. I think we somewhat benefited her in figuring out what she liked and what she didn't like. So very, very props to you. Thank you very much for being with us. I'm sad to see her leave in May, but it's been a very, very fun experience, a win-win relationship with Caitlin and being able to find that current job. So we're very excited about